Well, thank you so much for joining us again today in our Entrepreneur Series. And we are welcoming to our show today Miss Deirdre Hodo, and she has started a new business here in the Flint area. And are going to start off by just welcoming her to our live and asking her to tell us a little bit about herself.
Hello, thank you for having me, Lisa. I'm so excited to be here. Well, I am Dede. Many people call me Dede, even though my real name is Deirdre. I've been married for over 30 years and I have one son. And just excited. I work for my church, Family Worship Center Church, and that's exciting as well. And so just living life and just having fun with everything.
Great, great. Again, so happy that you were able to join us today. First off, just like for you to tell us a little bit about what actually sparked your business idea.
Well, it's interesting because it started several years ago when I began doing research on ingredients in food. And you know how many people are so frustrated with getting food that has hormones and chemicals and all of that in it. And that actually led me to researching skincare products and we put on our skin every single day, which then led to researching about soap. And so when I landed on soap and began researching the ingredients that are placed in our soap products and what we use every day, I really got a little bit frustrated and said, you know what, that's it. And I decided that I wanted to make my own soap. Now, I wasn't even thinking about a business at that time. I just wanted to make my own soap for my own family so that we could rid ourselves of all of those chemicals that are placed in our soap bars that we buy on a regular basis. And so from there, I started researching even more about how to make soap. And so when I found out that you had to use sodium hydroxide in order to make real soap, I said, you know what, nah, that's it. I'm not going to do that. But at some point in time, as I continued to research, I watched videos on making soap. I said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try because I think it's worth it
Mhm.
to do something and make something where, it's nourishing for my skin, it's all natural, and I can control what goes into it when I make it. So that's how all of that started. And then also having a conversation with my sister Stacy, talking about making soap. She said, "Yeah, let's do it." And then at some point in time, she said, "Well, you know what? Let's do a business," which I had never thought of before. And that's how all of that got started. So it came out of a passion to just purify my own life of just different chemicals that are used in products every single day.
Great. So it's really interesting that and we often get into this conversation in class. Your business idea really grew from your desire to solve a problem for yourself personally, and then
Yes.
kind of expand it from there. So many people are looking for, well, what kind of business can I go into? When so often the really successful entrepreneurs, they start off just trying to do something because they're passionate about the problem. So that's great.
Yeah.
Now that you've given that intro into it, do you want to tell us a little bit about your company? What's the name of it and what product line you actually have?
Yeah. Our company is called Earth and Ash Soap. And many people may wonder, well, how did we come up with that name? Well, we really wanted to come up with a name that actually resonated with the products that we actually offer. And so all of our products are a combination of natural, organic, and plant based products. So, of course, earth represents things that come from the earth, natural, all of that. And actually, the word ash comes from sodium hydroxide because sodium, a lot of people look at sodium hydroxide as this dangerous ingredient, which, you do have to give it respect because it is something that is dangerous if you don't handle it right. But sodium hydroxide is actually made from wood ash. And
Uh-huh.
so we wanted to give a little bit of a play on that. And so when we came across the name Earth and Ash, it just really fit what we were doing. And so our company philosophy is that we're committed to making products with no synthetic ingredients, no synthetic colors, no synthetic fragrances, but we want to use all natural, organic, plant based, good for your skin ingredients that will really nourish your skin and treat your skin well. And so, one of our taglines is that your skin deserves it. And your skin really does deserve to use something that will nourish it rather than dry it out, so on and so forth. And so currently we have 9 products in our soap bar line. So we have a variety of scents. Some of our most popular bars are our fresh lemongrass, our sweet orange, our oatmeal and cocoa with organic honey, as well as our cedarwood and lime. So those are some of our best sellers right now. And one of the things that we do in terms of our soap bars is that we use plant-based oils and butters. Our cocoa butter, our shea butter, our coconut oil, our castor oil, as well as olive oil. And all of the oils that we use are organic. And then we also just launched a new product line, and that is our whipped body butters. And so we're really excited about that. So we wanted to give a companion to the soap bar. So once you lather up with the soap, then you can get out of the shower and then slather up with the whipped body butters. So we're really, really excited about that.
Lather and slather.
Lather and slather, yes.
That's good. When I first saw the name, I was like, that's really distinctive. It's not faddish. It just sounds, the name sounds organic. It sounds like something that would be somewhat classic in nature. So
Yeah.
I really like the name of the company when I first saw it. Next question for you. One of the things that challenges would-be entrepreneurs from, just going ahead and hitting that go button is their fear. What made you decide to just do the thing as
Well,
far as a business is concerned?
okay. Because of the passion that I had for, purifying my own life in terms of getting rid of the chemicals, it was something that we were so excited about that we said, you know what, we've got to share this with other people
Okay.
because we knew that there were other individuals out there
Mhm.
that were looking for products just like we were that were free of synthetic ingredients. And the passion for it overrode the fear of it.
Mhm.
Now, of course, there was some nervousness and there was some
Absolutely.
hesitation. Well, and then you go through all of those questions. What if it doesn't succeed? And what if people don't like it? And what if people don't support me? And what if, and what if, and what if? Well, one of the things that you'll never know is you won't know what if you never try.
Mhm.
So, we knew that we had a really good product. Uh, and even though we're evaluating the product all the time, we knew we had a good product and we just really wanted to get it into the hands of people. And so when we first started making soap before we even launched the business,
Mhm.
we just gave soap away and we gave it to our family and friends and we had them give us feedback
Mhm.
and so even the encouragement from the family and friends was really a catalyst as well
Mhm.
to us going ahead and just getting this business started.
Great, great. What was your greatest challenge to actually starting to pushing the go button?
Well, I think the one of the greatest challenges was just feeling as though we didn't know enough. Because when you're launching out into business, there's so many different elements and aspects to it. It's not just the product, it's your supplies, it's It's the money that you have to spend to get all of your, things that you need in order to make the product. It's your website, it's your marketing strategy, it's getting your name out there. It's so many different elements that are involved. But I think one of the greatest challenges was not knowing enough. So one of the things that we have aimed to do is to arm ourselves with education, is to become experts in what we do, is to gather as much information as we can, learn as much as we can, connect with different organizations that specialize in this,
Mhm.
and learning from other people who are already doing what we do. Uh, so that it really boosts our confidence and boost our, our informational level as well. So that when we did launch out, we knew that we had the confidence that we needed and the information backing us and the education backing us at that time.
That's interesting because you're just another plug for this one chapter in my course that deals with knowledge and how that
Mm,
knowledge takes away a lot of the fear and gives you the confidence to actually, move
yeah,
forward. Like you said, there are going to be some
absolutely.
unknowns anyway, but the more you know, the more confident you feel about stepping out there and doing it because
Yeah,
you're kind of preparing yourself for what could go wrong because you have a plan for it, basically. So
yeah.
love that pursuit of knowledge. How difficult was it to find the knowledge sources that ended up really helping you?
It wasn't too difficult. YouTube is such a great resource,
I love
when it comes to getting information. I mean, I watched probably 10,000 hours of soaping videos. And so one of the things that I did was I went out there and I searched for people who were already doing it, who were some of the top soap makers in YouTube land. And I also went online and found some of the top soap making companies and soap makers who give out information freely. And so as I watched a lot of the YouTube videos, the soap makers would give so much information, so many tips, so many um, things that go along with soap making. And I also read information as well. So I didn't just rely on the soap makers, but I also did my own due diligence
Mhm.
and did research. And so one of the things that I had to do was I had to break it up into different phases or different elements because there's so many different elements to soap making. So I had to categorize things. So once I began to categorize those things, and I would exhaust each of those elements. So one specific aspect of soap making, I would exhaust it. Then I would go on to another particular aspect. Then I would go on to the next. So gathering information in chunks like that really helped me. But it really wasn't difficult, really finding that information.
You spent a lot of time doing this. When did you actually start on this personal journey where soap making was concerned? And when did you actually start on the process of learning how to do it as a business?
Well, I started researching soap making probably about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So I have been researching this and gathering information for that length of time. So initially, I was just gathering information for just myself and how to make it. But for business, um, it started to interweave with gathering knowledge for myself as well as gathering knowledge for the business as well. So there were some aspects of the research that emerged toward the end of that research in terms of the aspects of how to run a soap making business and some of the things that you need to be aware of, some of the requirements in terms of packaging and information that you need on your packaging, and some of the regulations in terms of making soap. So just on and on and on. But yeah, I began the initial research about 4 years ago.
So much for get rich quick schemes and for all of a sudden business pop-ups. You have
Yeah,
4 years invested in the product itself And I
Yes.
really wanted to highlight when I heard you mention 10,000 YouTube video hours. That's a lot of time, but it also shows how much commitment there has to be to
Yeah.
really making something successful. And as I mean, as you
Yes.
said before, even if it's just for you and your circle of family and friends, making a good quality product, but to spend that much time and effort in it really lends to how, the possibilities of it growing even beyond just your circle of family and friends. So just wanted to, kind of highlight the fact that this is just not a fly by night. You decided to do this, and 2 weeks later, you're making soap and starting
Right.
your own business. You have a lot of time and energy invested in this, and that's great. You've mentioned in your researching as well, the fact that you have to purchase supplies. I'm sure you have some equipment that you had to purchase. How did you settle on which and where did you find your suppliers? Not asking for any proprietary information or anything, but how did you go about just finding your suppliers? It's a question I get so often from students.
Well, as I was watching YouTube videos and researching online in regards to soap making, there's a lot of YouTube video soap makers that actually give their list of
Ah,
vendors that they use. So as I would watch these videos, I would just make a list of the vendors that they would mention, and then I would research those vendors. And then as I researched the different vendors, then I would settle in on certain ones. And one of the things that I was looking for reputable vendors.
mhm,
A lot of people will buy things on Amazon or buy things locally, but I really wanted to find vendors that specialize in soap supplies as well as handcrafted supplies because there's a benefit to that because one of the things that they provide is safety data information
mhm.
as well as information in regards to the products that they're selling. You can look at the sheet. They tell you where they source their products. They tell you some of the safety information in regards to the product. And a lot more information that they provide if they're a reputable vendor. So we really wanted to buy products and ingredients that were of quality
Mhm.
and that also we could buy in bulk. We didn't want to risk buying something on Amazon from a third party seller that may have the ingredients sitting in their warehouse for the last 2 years that has been expired because it was just too important to not do that. So yeah, so then once I sifted through all of the vendors, then I settled on, okay, this is a reputable vendor. This is a reputable vendor. And so that's how it all came about from there.
How long would you say that it took for you to settle on your suppliers? And were there any personal contacts involved with them, or is this basically just online communications? Just how did you go about establishing that relationship with them?
Well, it probably took probably maybe a 6 months to a year to really finally settle in on the vendors that I use right now. And the soap makers that, I would watch on a regular basis, I actually sifted through all the soap makers as well. Because I knew the individuals who were professional and I knew the individuals who were doing it just for a hobby and they may just get things at their local grocery store.
Mhm.
So as I watched the soap makers and had the list of vendors, it really didn't take that long to settle in on them, about 6 months to a year. So I would actually go on the sites and I would look at the products that they offer. I would look at some of the information that they would provide for the products, particularly essential oils,
Mm.
because essential oils are a key component of our products. So researching that and looking at the sites and all of that, and also all of the comments that the customers would make were important as well. So it took about 6 months to a year to really settle in on those individuals.
Great, great. Wonderful. Now, you mentioned already looking at the business side of things as well. What would you say has been your biggest business challenge aside from the production of your soap products themselves? Like, how did you decide on your marketing plan? How are you actually marketing your products? And just some of the challenges that you may have experienced there.
Wow, that's a loaded question. That's a loaded question. I would say that um, I would look at it right now. Right now, one of the greatest challenges is space. We are expanding. When we first started out, everything was good. We had enough room, we had for everything, but now we're outgrowing, even our house. And, in terms of storing our supplies, in terms of even curing our soaps. So one of the things that we're doing is, our house is being turned into a soap factory instead of just a home. And so one of the things that's on our agenda or our list to do is to at some point get a soap factory or some type of warehouse where we can actually produce in a warehouse as opposed to our home. I would say another challenge is well, I wouldn't even say that. I think the greatest challenge right now is just the space.
Okay.
Um,
And that's a
the
good
other thing,
challenge. That's a good problem to
yeah,
have.
absolutely.
That's a good problem to have,
But
growing, needing more space, and it's your first year of operations. That's a great problem to have.
absolutely, yeah,
That's a really,
yeah. But other than that, I think the other things are just general challenges. There are times when you may order supplies and the supplier is out of what it is that you need, which takes me back to you need to have more than one vendor for certain products or ingredients because you always need to have backup vendors in the event that one of your vendors is out of the things that you need, and
absolutely.
then the shipping times as well. So
These,
one of the mottos that I have is order before you need it.
yeah. And that's a delicate situation
Yeah,
because having too much inventory around can be costly. But these days, you really have to do it because of the logistics and shipping problems that, I mean, the entire world is experiencing right now. So definitely the
absolutely.
order before you need it is absolutely critical.
Definitely.
Um, let's talk a little bit about your marketing. Where did you go as far as web design? Did you guys do this yourselves, or did you hire somebody to do that kind of thing? What are you doing as far as the business side so that you can focus on being the soap maker and not have to spend too much time on things that may not be your specialty?
Well, in terms of our marketing, in terms of the website, I designed the website myself.
Okay.
In terms of all of our packaging, I design all of that myself as well. So anything creative, anything packaging, all of that, I have done all of that. Not that I'm an expert at it, but we feel like right now that is the best choice for us rather than outsourcing it. So once we begin to grow more, then we'll outsource more things. In terms of our marketing, it began with word of mouth.
Mhm.
And, of course, like everybody shares about their business. And one of our strategies was to just give soap away.
Mhm.
We wanted to get our product in the hands of people because, there's a new business popping up all the time.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that people need is to be able to trust your business, to know that you have a good product, and to know that, this is a business that I can go to for this particular thing. So we knew that if we got the soap in the hands of individuals, then once they used it, they would be sold. And that was one of our marketing strategies. And also we utilize Facebook as well. We utilize email marketing for our business too. And so all of those things together have really helped us to get the word out. But one of the things that we really like to focus on is not necessarily selling a product per se, although sales are important,
Mhm.
but we really want to focus on bringing brand awareness and building a brand, because people need to get to know who we are, and they need to know what our philosophy is, what our company is all about, not just selling a product.
Mhm.
And so once they get to know about us, then they'll want to know about the product as well. So one of the things we focus on is education as well, is educating our customer about the ingredients and what's in it and why we put those things in it. So that's a part of the business that we're building up,
Mhm.
and we will build up over time. But we really want to bring product awareness, brand awareness, and then also we want to bring education to our customers as well.
Great. You highlighted another good thing. As a matter of fact, another question. Do you have a business degree?
No, I do not.
You don't? Okay. No,
Yeah,
I'm
it's called
asking.
a Google degree.
I'm really asking too, because you are really speaking the language of marketing there, especially when you're talking about brand awareness and the need for people to understand that your brand is more than a logo on, your product packaging. It's
Yeah,
about the reputation of your company. So I love that you're talking
absolutely.
about understanding your philosophy and making sure that that actually matches the product. Because there's nothing
Yes,
like having that disconnect between what you claim to be as a brand and what people perceive you as a brand when they try
exactly.
your product, when they hear what you have to say, when they say, well, this product doesn't match this. So I love that the awareness that you have to make sure that your customers understand what your product is so they know what they're getting, especially when you're in this arena, when you're talking about the organics and the natural, non-synthetic products, these organic
Yeah.
products. It's important that people trust you as an
Yes.
individual, and that they can trust your company, and all of the effort that you've taken into making sure that your ingredients have been vetted.
Yes.
And you trust the companies that you are selecting as your vendors, as your suppliers there.
Yeah.
Absolutely critical in that whole marketing arena. So yeah, that's why I knew you were degreed, both you and your husband, but I wasn't sure if it was business or not. But the
Well,
branding is spot
yeah.
on. That's
Yeah.
spot
Well,
on.
well, actually, my degree is in management and organizational development.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so I see the management piece there, definitely, but that marketing piece is absolutely critical. And I think you highlighted the most important part of it. People think marketing, they think advertising.
mhm,
You don't want to advertise until you have what you have already talked about
yes.
established, so that
Yeah.
people can really understand what it is that they're buying from you. And as you said, what the philosophy of your company is, because that's what they're
Yeah.
really buying into when they buy your brand. So that is absolutely amazing. But as we move forward and kind of wrap up our conversation here today, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about Earth and Ash? This is your opportunity to do a shameless plug for your company. If you want to give us website information or how they can contact you guys, we will also post that before we release this to the public, to our to our Facebook page here. But anything else that you want to say about Earth and Ash?
Well, one of the things that I would say about our company is that we're committed. And one of the things that we um, thrive to do or strive to do is to make sure we do our due diligence to make sure that we bring you consistent, safe products. And we're so passionate about this that, we're willing to stake our lives on it, in theory. We're willing to stake our lives on it because we know that when you're bringing a product to the public, that there's a lot of things involved in that, and you want to bring a safe product.
Mhm.
And we really care about what goes on your skin, and that's why we say that your skin deserves it. And so you can check us out at earthandashsoap.com. You can, browse our website, look at our products right now because it is Cyber Monday. We have a 30% off sale. It may not be Cyber Monday when you watch this video, but go on, check us out. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We have our contact information on our website. If you have any questions about our products, we're more than willing to answer them for you.
Great, great. Well, again, Dede Hodo, representing Earth and Ash Soap Company. We appreciate you coming and sharing your business vision and some of the things that you've had to do to get this business up and running, and to encourage our students to do the same. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. It was such a pleasure to do this with you.
Our pleasure.